Hi, hello, namaste, hearty, welcome to yet another interesting iLead Tax Talks at iLead Tax LLC. So, this is Nanda Kumar K V here. I'm the Chief Education Officer at iLead Tax Academy and also iLead Tax LLC. And for the last 22 plus years, I've been working only with clients like you, Indians in the USA, preparing jobs for my students right from India. 100 clients like you, they create one job for my student in India. So thank you very, very much for encouraging iLead, encouraging my videos, encouraging our business. Thank you very much, for your loyalty and for all your referrals. So for the last 2 weeks, I have been talking to most of the, senior citizens, especially, the PIFIC videos have become quite viral. As I told you, some people have also asked me, have I partnered with the IRS to to squeeze, money from taxpayers and all. There's nothing like that. I'm just educating my clients. I love my clients. I love my students as much as I love my family. So it's just an effort to share whatever I know so that they stay compliant. Okay. So today I'm starting something I wanted to do, for a long time. A complete series called Retiring to India Right. Okay, Retiring to India Right. Probably I may do some 6 episode, and this is episode 1. Episode 1. The very first question. Should I become a US citizen before moving back to India? This is a question that I often get to hear, from my clients. Now, before anyone says, Nanda, I'm not 60, I'm not retiring, please stay with me, okay? If you are on H1B, if you have a green card, if you are a US citizen, if you think even one day, you might move back to India, this decision affects you. And with everything, going on right now, the immigration uncertainty, visa backlogs, families rethinking, their long term plans. This question, comes up in my iPlan tax consultation calls every single day, like not from retirees only, from 35-year-olds also, from 40-year-olds also. Now, before we go further, you can ping in the comments, are you a green card holder, a citizen, or a person with a work visa, H1L1 or anything? So just type green card, US citizen, or any visa. Okay, I read every comment and it genuinely helps me shape the next episodes. Most of the clients, they prefer sending me email, or WhatsApp. So thank you for getting in touch. Yeah, let's get in touch. Save my number. You have my email address and coordinates. Okay. As I always say, tax planning and tax filing are two different things. See, tax filing is like examination, whereas tax planning is the preparation. So, unless you prepare well, you cannot do well in the examination. Don't, yell at your tax accountant or, crib or moan that, you're not getting refund or you're paying too much in taxes. Any licensed CPA or a licensed enrolled agent will get you here and there, the same amount of tax benefit as long as, he is compliant or she is compliant. Now, there are people who may not be doing the right practice. The IRS also, puts a list of such people. Uh, so whenever you're filing your tax returns with somebody, make sure the person is a licensed CPA or a licensed EA. You get to see the person. I'm not against any online portals or anybody. Even if you're going and filing with a local accountant, make sure the person is licensed, they understand the India USA taxes, and you are able to see them, talk to them. Yeah, I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and I always encourage my clients to review their iLead income, as you see here: income, liabilities, expenses, assets, dreams. I mean, you have gone through a lot to come to US or to where you are right now. Maybe even now you're going through a lot. If I'm speaking to six clients in a day, six or seven clients, at least one or two they feel not so good, about their current state in the USA. So with that thing in my mind and in my heart, I make videos like this. Now the peers may feel, that I'm giving free tax advice, but we can always, customize it once the client comes to us. So look at it, with a educational spirit, and let's see, how best we all can serve the community. Yeah. Now, one important thing before we begin, everything in this video is education only. It is not legal, tax, or immigration advice. Every person's situation is unique. Okay. So please talk to a professional before you act. And one practical tip is this video has chapters in the description or episode. Okay. If you want to come back to one particular topic, just go to the description below. You can see what all topics we have covered. You can click on that, and you can watch that particular chapter. So this video is designed to be watched twice or more than once until you get good understanding of this particular subject. Okay. Again, please check with your accountant or immigration attorney and do your own research also after watching this video. Now, see, let me show you where this journey is going, because today is only chapter 1 that I wanted to talk. Now, episode 1 today, okay? Citizenship versus green card. I call it the first domino because every other decision falls based on this one, right? Next, episode 2 will be talking about social security, Medicare, and health insurance in India, including a spousal benefit that I'm telling you honestly, most couples in my office have never heard of. Okay. So, wives who never worked in America may still qualify. So, we will cover it fully. Yeah. Then, episode 3, the withdrawal playbook, like the 401k, IRA, Roth, pension, EPF, PPF in India, when to take money out, in which order, at what tax cost. Then, episode 4, the compliance trap, like the PIFIG, FBAR, FATCA, NRE, NRO, FCNR accounts. And this is where, the penalties live. Hmm? Penalties. Then, episode 5, we talk about the Indian property, gifts, inheritance, estate tax, RNOR status, and the India US tax treaty. And episode 6, the capstone, the 25 decision, exit checklist, probably, that I made everything in order. You can add, more to that. Now, missing one episode is like skipping a chapter, in a mystery novel. So you will reach the end and wonder, what happened. So please do subscribe and press that bell now. So YouTube brings each episode to you the moment it's out, right? And comment below which of this, comment or email me, okay, which of these tax topics worries you the most, okay? Is it the status? Is it the social security, PIFIC, property? Your answers, decide how deep I go into each topic. You can email me at asknanda@iletax.com. You see the email address above, right? asknanda@iletax.com. Now, see the questions every returning NRI asks. See, in just the last 2 weeks, I sat with senior officials, or you can call them professionals, okay? Smart people, engineers, directors, 25, 30 years, in the USA, and they asked me these exact questions for the first time at age 60, at age 65. Okay. Should I surrender my green card or become a US citizen? When should I claim social security and does my spouse qualify? What do I do with my 401k from India? Are my Indian mutual funds a perfect trap? How do I stay F bar compliant? And what about my flat in Whitefield? My land in Coimbatore? So these are all, some of the questions that I get to hear, from the senior citizens or the nearby senior citizens. Now, here is what, I want you to hear carefully. Not one of these questions is difficult. What is dangerous is answering them in the wrong order, or worse, answering them after you have, already booked the ticket. So think of it, like packing for a flight. Passport first, then clothes, then snacks, right? So if you pack snacks first and remember the passport at the airport, the trip is over. Same thing here. So status comes first. Everything else, follows. So today we start with the first domino. What status do you carry when you board that flight home, right? Back to India. Now, let me introduce you to this lovely couple, Suresh and Lakshmi. To make this real, I've just put some imaginary names. Now, see, Suresh is not one person. Every problem in this episode is real. Just that the uncle here is fictional, right? Or fictional. Now, he's a composite of clients, I work with every single year. So, privacy matters in my profession. Now, Mr. Suresh is 60 years, IT manager in California, green card holder since 2007. So 19 years invested, in the American dream. His wife, Lakshmi, is 57, a homemaker. And here is a detail, that becomes very important in episode 2. She has no US work credits of her own. No US work credits of her own. They are retiring in 2 years to Bangalore or Bengaluru. On the US side, a 401k and a home in California. On the India side, about 5 crore rupees in mutual funds and fixed deposits. Now, how many of you see yourself in Suresh position? Maybe not 60 yet. Maybe you are the 40-year-old version, of Mr. Suresh. If this sounds like your family, you must watch this carefully. Yeah? Because if you see yourself in Mr. Suresh, this episode is for you. See, I may be speaking at a slow pace. If you feel I'm speaking slow, I mean, youngsters or young at heart, please change the YouTube speed to 1.25x or 1.5x, okay? Because I have some elders, 65 years and above, also are my clients. So I'm speaking at this pace. Yeah. And elders, you feel that this is fast to you, you can reduce it to 0.75x or something like that. Yeah. But it'll be like cribbing. It'll be like me cribbing actually. Chale. Now, let's talk about the three paths. See, when an Indian green card holder prepares to return to India, there are exactly three roads. Okay, only three. Path 1, apply for US citizenship first, then move. Full US passport, permanent status. But lifelong worldwide taxation follows you home to Bengaluru. Okay. Next, path 2, keep the green card while living in India. Sounds simple, right? Keep it in the locker, use it when needed. Now, I will show you in a few minutes why this is far riskier, than most people realize. Then, part 3, formal abandonment. Form I-407, a clean legal break from US permanent residency. The right choice for many people. But it comes with its own exit cost and compliance demands. Now, here is the line, I want you to remember from this entire video. Pause and write it down, if you have to, even my students. The biggest mistakes come from never choosing at all. Hmm? The biggest mistake comes from never choosing at all from any of these three paths. Most people don't choose, they drift. They keep the green card by default, stop filing, by accident, and discover the problem 5 years later when there's a notice or a denied entry at the airport, a frozen brokerage account, and things like that. So, drifting is also a decision, and it's just the worst one. Now, let's understand each of these paths, okay, one by one. Path 1, citizenship gains versus obligation. Let's take, path 1 seriously, because for some families it is absolutely, the right answer. What do you gain? What do you gain? See, a status nobody can take away. A US passport, travel, consular protection, anywhere in the world. The ability to return anytime for a family emergency, for medical care, for grandchildren. Predictable social security and estate treatment. And no re entry permit, no physical presence clock ticking over your head. See, for Mr. Suresh, whose daughter lives in Texas, that return anytime benefit is not just, small. It's emotional, it's real. Yes, sir. But now, what do you owe? Forever. Lifelong worldwide taxation? Hmm? Lifelong worldwide taxation? Every rupee of rent from your Bangalore flat? Every FD interest? Every mutual fund gain in India? The IRS wants to know about it. Every year. Every year. Annual US federal returns filed from India. FBAR every year. Foreign bank accounting reports that reports your foreign accounts that cross $10,000 combined. So possibly Form 8938 as well, FATCA, Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. And if you ever change your mind and want to renounce citizenship later, there's a State Department fees and potentially, the same exit tax we will discuss in a few minutes. Your estate also remains within the US estate tax system. And here is, my one line summary. Citizenship is a lifelong tax subscription. Citizenship is a lifelong tax subscription. The benefits are real and powerful, but so is the fine print. So know what you are signing before you sign it. Now, see, honest question, for the viewers. Before this video, did you know that a US citizen living in India must file US tax returns every year? No judgment. But you would be surprised, how many of the elders, or people may say, no. You can just ask, somebody those questions. They may think that, hey, I've come back to India, ho gaya bas. No, the N400 trap. Now, for choosing Path 1 citizenship, there is a trap on the application itself that stops, many people cold. Form N400, the naturalization application. is signed under penalty of perjury, and USCIS, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, asks these two questions. Question 1: have you ever filed a required federal, state, or local tax return? Ever. Not in the last 3 years. Ever. That year you were between jobs and thought you didn't need to file. That first year in America, when nobody, told you the rules, it must be disclosed. Then, question 2: do you owe any overdue taxes? Outstanding balances, open IRS notices, unfiled F bars, all of these, create exposure. An application filed on top of compliance gaps can be denied, or worse, referred for further review. I'm not scaring you, I'm just telling you, my little experience. And friends, hear me on this. Do not go to your citizenship interview hoping the officer won't ask. That is not a strategy. That's a gamble with your own immigration future. So, here is the golden rule: clean up first, apply second. Hmm? Clean up first, apply second. And the good news: IRS has official approved cleanup paths, streamlined procedures, amended returns, voluntary disclosure. We covered those, in full detail in episode 4. Okay. So today, just remember the sequence: clean up first, yeah, then application second, right? Sure. Now, the green card locker myth, the path to. Okay. I've given this slide this name, the green card locker myth. So many returning NRIs believe, Nanda, I'll just keep the card in the locker. Sorry. In the Godrej Almara next to the gold. If I need America, I will take it out. See, immigration law disagrees. And at the airport, the border officer has the final say. Yes or no? Here is how the risk builds. 6+ months abroad. 6+ months abroad. That already raises serious questions about your intent to maintain permanent residence. Getting it? 6+ months abroad, it already raises questions about your intent to maintain permanent residence. Now, the CBP officers can question you, and yes, they can also deny entry in the worst case. Now, more than 1 year abroad, you generally need a re-entry permit. Form I-131, I guess. Okay, you should check with your immigration attorney. Okay, so based on the little research that I've made, I've just compiled all this. Okay, and here's the catch, most people miss. You must apply before you leave the US, and it's valid for roughly 2 years only. It's not a lifetime pass. Really? It's not a lifetime pass. And even with the permit, if your whole center of life is in India, your home, your doctors, your bank accounts, your daily life, the government can still determine you abandoned residency. See, let me give you the line for this slide, okay? A green card held from Bengaluru is not a plan, it's a liability. It's a liability. See, I guarantee half of you know someone doing exactly, this right now. An uncle, a friend, a colleague living in India with the green card in the Godrej locker. No, we use Acura. Oh, okay, Acura locker. If so, share this video with them today. You might save them, from what's coming on the next slide. Yeah. Now, the tax trap nobody sees. Now, this slide, this is why, I made this episode. This is where, like do it yourself planning becomes expensive. Oh, today we have, all AI tools, ChatGPT, Claude, Ask Gemini, Perplexity, so many things, I can figure out. Okay, all the best to you. But unfortunately, none of them, are licensed tax professionals from the IRS. None of them. Immigration status and tax residency are governed by two completely separate bodies of law, and they do not move in sync. See, watch what can happen to Mr. Suresh. He moves to Bengaluru, stops traveling to the US. His green card expires in his drawer, immigration wise. A border officer may treat that card as abandoned, and his right to live in America is gone. But the IRS may still consider him a US tax resident because, for tax purposes, until you formally file Form I-407 or take a treaty tiebreaker position on your return, the IRS clock keeps running. Just keeps running. Full worldwide income reporting every year and penalties for the forms you're not filing, they're all accumulating silently. F bar alone can be $10,000 penalty per violation, and that's non-willful penalty. Now you can Google or use your AI tools to find out what are the penalties for not filing F bar or FATCA for a willful violation. You saw me speak to you, you heard me speak to you, but still you didn't comply. You can check for yourself what are the penalties that's applicable. Now, an expired card is not a tax exit. If you remember one sentence from this video, let it be that one. Rewind 30 seconds if you need to hear it again, okay? And one more serious warning, some people, read online, just claim the US India treaty tiebreaker, say you are an Indian resident, done. Friends, never do it yourself, the treaty tiebreaker. Getting treaty tiebreaker, never do it yourself. For a long term green card holder, claiming that treaty position to exit US tax residency can itself trigger the expatriation rules under Section 877A. You think you found an escape door, you actually walked into a taxable event. And this is exactly the kind of move, where one form filed wrong costs more than 30 years of professional fees. Work with a cross border professional always. I mean, I'm not trying to sell you anything, I'm trying to tell you many things. I hope, you get this right. Yeah. Now, let's talk about path 3. Okay. The clean break, Form I-407. And for many of our clients, honestly, this is the most honest and ultimately the most liberating choice. Form I-407, a formal legal surrender of your permanent residency. Executed currently, Executed correctly, it ends your US filing obligations on future Indian income. Now, when does it fit? When India is certainly and permanently your home. Getting? When you don't anticipate needing US employment or long stays again. When you want to exit the annual US filing system cleanly. And when you are comfortable managing your US retirement assets, your 401k, your brokerage as a non resident going forward. Now, what changes after I-407? Beautiful things, honestly. Your future Indian rental income, your Indian pension, your Indian investments, no longer IRS business. Think about the peace of mind, in that sentence. What stays is the US sourced income, your social security, your IRA withdrawals. Those remain subject to US withholding, generally, at treaty rates. And we will cover, exactly how much in episode 3. Yeah, sounds wonderful, right? Right. So, clean break, walk away, namaste, goodbye, America, right? But America may charge an exit fee, before you go. That's next, okay? So don't skip ahead. This is the most important part coming up. Now, the exit tax, okay, section 877A. Let me walk you through this slowly because this is where real money is at stake. See, first, who does this even apply to? If you have held your green card for 8 of the last 15 tax years, US law calls you a long term resident. 8 out of last 15 years. And note carefully, that's 8 tax years. And even part of a calendar year can count as a full year for this test. Part of a calendar year can also count as a full year for this test. So, I have only had it 7 calendar years, needs careful counting. Suresh, right? Green card since 2007. He crossed this line long ago. Now, once you are a long term resident and you expatriate, the IRS runs 3 tests to see if you are a covered expatriate. Covered expatriate. Fail any one of 3 and the exit tax rules apply. Now, as you see in the boxes here, test 1 is the net worth. $2 million or more on your expatriation date. Now think, uh, a Bay Area home, a 401k built over 20 years, 5 crore in Indian assets. Most of you watching are closer to this line than you think, right? And notice this 2 million is not yet indexed for inflation. It's been 2 million since 2008. Next, test 2, tax liability. Your average annual US net income tax liability over the last 5 years exceeds $211,000. That's the 2026 threshold adjusted each year. This catches, very high earners. Then test 3. And this is the silent trap, compliance. If you cannot certify 5 years of full US tax compliance, you are a covered expatriate automatically. Wealth is irrelevant. Let that sink in, okay? You could have $300,000 to your name, and nowhere near 2 million. But if your F bars weren't filed, if a return was missed, if your Indian FD interest was never reported, covered expatriate, full treatment. And what is the treatment? On the day before you expatriate, the law pretends you sold everything you own, worldwide at market value, mark to market. Your first $910,000 of gain is excluded. The 2026 figure adjusted for inflation. But your traditional IRS treated as fully distributed, and no exclusion applies to that. And 401k distributions to covered expatriates are generally hit with 30% withholding going forward. Have you ever heard of exit tax? Hmm? This is one of the least known rules in the entire US tax code, and it's aimed directly at people like you. Next, the Form 8854, the 5-year certification trap. See, here is how the government checks all of this. Form 8854, the expatriation statement filed with your final US return. On this form, you certify that under the penalty of perjury, that you have fully complied with all US federal tax obligations for the 5 tax years before your expatriation date. You filed returns, paid taxes, filed FBARs, everything. And the rule with teeth, if you cannot make that certification, or if you fail to file Form 8854 at all, you are automatically a covered expatriate. Even a $3,000 net worth gets full exit tax treatment. So notice something beautiful, and I mean this, sincerely. Whether you take the N400 road to citizenship or the I-407 road out, every road passes through compliance first. There is no path, that skips it. The government designed it that way, and honestly, as a practitioner for the last 22 plus years, I think it's the one part of this system that's actually fair. Clean books, open every door. Messy books, close all of them. If your last 5 years are not clean, that is the work we do, before any other decision is made. Not after, before. Now, Suresh, 4 questions. So let's bring it home before Suresh or anyone watching makes a single move. 4 questions must be answered honestly. Pause the video on this slide. Take a screenshot on your mobile or laptop, desktop. Discuss this with your spouse. And then send me an email. Don't do just a WhatsApp forward to your spouse. Yes, I want you to share the link with your friends, with your spouse, and anybody in your circle. Ask them to watch. Add a little text that this fellow is talking something sensible. Do some research on it. Does this apply to us? Let's plan it. We're not going to do it immediately, but at some point in time, you got to do it. So here are those questions. Question 1. Will you genuinely need to live in the US again for caregiving, medical treatment, a second career, grandchildren? Citizenship keeps that door open. I-407 closes it. Be honest, but not optimistic. That's question one. Question two, are you comfortable filing US returns from India for life? Every year, F bar, possibly Form 8938, also FATCA, from Bengaluru, from Chennai, from our Hyderabad, forever. Some people say, no problem, my CA handles it. Others feel a weight lift, just imagining being free of it. Which one are you? Then, question three, are you near the covered expatriate thresholds? 2 million net worth, 211,000 average tax, or the compliance test? Knowing where you stand changes the entire maths, on path 3. And last, question 4, are your last 5 years of US tax filings completely clean? And here's what, 22 years of my presence in the US tax industry has taught me. This is the question most people cannot answer with confidence. And if you are unsure, the answer is no. And this is where, the work begins. Now, here's your homework, This week, pull out your last 5 years of returns, and ask yourself one question. Is my Indian income and are my Indian accounts properly reported on the US tax return? That single question, tells you which path is even available to you. And come back and send an email to me what you found, and I'll be happy to help you. In episode 2, Social Security, Medicare, and Health Insurance, when you retire to India, including that 50% spousal benefit most couples don't know exist. Like here in our case, Lakshmi ji never worked in America. Can she still get a monthly check from Social Security Administration? The answer will surprise you. Subscribe, press the bell so that YouTube notifies you the moment we drop a video from iLead Tax LLC. And if this video raised questions about your specific situation, your green card timeline, your net worth, your 5-year compliance, don't guess, just book a personal consultation with me. We will be connecting on Zoom. It's not a phone call, on Zoom. I want to see you and talk. The Calendly link is right there in the description. Or visit, ileadtax.com, or write to me, ask Nanda at ileadtax.com, or WhatsApp me on the US number or Indian number, and our team will be happy to help you. Remember, what we say at iLead. Plan your dream. Don't just dream it. I'm Nanda Kumar. Thank you very much for spending this time with me. Goodbye, and I'll see you soon in the next episode. Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.